and shine. Good morning to you. I'm West 2 meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's doing in the world of weather, and it's a little damp out there this morning. As a matter of fact, we look at the satellite and radar, and we see the culprit. There's an old front, and just as we had expected, just as we had talked about for quite some time, that old front has been hanging out, and as it does so, it's been bringing us the showers. So here's a live look in on our first warning Doppler radar, and we actually have a pretty nice and clean sweep in our area. We kind of look and you can see up to the north, there's some showers, nothing significant in the area, just a little bit of light rain here or there. In terms of temperatures out the door, it's damp. So you know the humidity is up. You know that that dew point is up, sitting at 66 degrees in Orlando. It is 65 degrees, 62 in Ocala, and into the upper 50s here in Palm Coast. So it's definitely not a, what do you call it? The cheesy saying is a Chamber of Commerce day. Yeah, it's not one of those. We are cloudy and we are damp, though do notice that while we are cloudy and damp now, the forecast does call for a little bit of sun, showers, even some thunder showers later on this afternoon. So we do have that activity to track later today. So that's kind of where we're at this morning as we're looking ahead to that. And of course, being that it's a weekend, you know that we want to get you covered with all that. So we're going to discuss those changes coming. But before we do that, let's just kind of get an overall look at this weather pattern. Okay. You've got that old front sitting over top of us. It fades, kind of tries to move off to the south. And as it does so, there's going to be a weakened area of high pressure that tries to build in. And that area of high pressure, as it does so, is basically going to help to dry us out just a little bit. So while, yes, we do have the rain chances in the forecast this afternoon, I do want you to notice on our 7-day forecast here that tomorrow, even Monday, even Tuesday, we are looking better. Now, temperatures are down a little bit. Today, it's a 50% coverage of showers. But notice for tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, while we'll be just that smidge lower, those temperatures will start to climb up a little bit and we'll continue on up into the 80s. And the reality is that those 80s are going to be with us for some time, because the models are basically saying that we're getting into fall weather here in Central Florida. So, okay, that's the idea. Now let's dial up our Futurecast, and we're going to look at a few different models here to try and zero in on timing of rain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll start with, oh, I didn't click it. Stand by. Here's our Futurecast, okay? And first off, this morning, it's showing opportunities for rain south of us. That's accurate. That's kind of the overall idea, right? Through the day, we get the clearing. So while it's gray now, we do start to see more sun shining a little bit later on. 1:30, 2, 3, 4. Our Futurecast trying to show a few spotty showers. It's not showing much. And if I'm honest, this is the same idea as yesterday. And as a forecaster, this is one of those very frustrating moments, because you've got like one of your models saying nothing is going to happen, right? And then you've got your other models that are like, no, promise you, buddy, you're going to see the rain. You're going to see the rain. And when that happens, it's a struggle as a forecaster, because you try to find consistency not just among model runs, but among models. And our Futurecast has consistently kept today dry. Combine that with the idea that, like, here's the Her model, and let's just roll this through time. A few showers south, and then into this afternoon, popcorning up a little bit of rainfall, especially in our southern areas. So it's like the consistency between models is not there, but within the models themselves, they're showing a fairly decent consistency. So I got to be honest, that's frustrating. I would say though that the further north you are today, the drier the overall forecast is. So if you've got out and about plans, if you're doing your thing up in Ocala, what have you, you're doing pretty okay. Now, in terms of the rainfall chances, there's kind of the overall idea. for the day. Obviously, the highest coverage of rain is going to be in our southern spots. The further north you go, the lighter the amounts would be, and the lower overall coverage. So here we are. Now, to back that up, okay, the Storm Prediction Center, who issues advisories on threats for strong to severe storms, they did highlight South Florida as having a level 1 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms. So we do know that the threat is going to be there for South Florida to see a little bit of stronger activity today. And we were talking about this yesterday, both on Coffee Talk and on West 2 News Sunrise. And the idea was wherever this cold front ends up fading is going to be the place that we have the opportunity to see the rain and the showers and the storms and the just kind of overall like buildup of activity. So that's kind of where we're at. So for today, I showed it, but I'll show it again. The clouds, the moisture, the front, it's impacting our temperatures. It's not going to be as warm. Yesterday we were into the 80s. You notice today, lunchtime, 72, 3 p.m., 75. So we're down 5 to 7 degrees. Okay, there's going to be a subtle adjustment there. But into the afternoon is when we could see some of those storms popping up. Nautilus says got a solid 2 to 3 inches in Marion, then a quarter of an inch to an inch in the metro. There you go, Nautilus. I like that. Yeah, we definitely saw some areas. Now, these are some rainfall totals that either Tony or Cami put together. And I love this. Look at some of these numbers. Rainbow Springs, just shy of 3 inches. Rainbow Lakes, 2.5. Silver Spring. So this is up in, of course, Marion County. Let me take you over to, I believe this is Brevard County. Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is along the coast. Okay. So there you go. So Marineland, 1.6. I don't know where I know there's a Palm Harbor on the West Coast. I don't think that that's what was typed, but all right. Maybe there's another Palm Harbor. Palm Bay, 1.3. Grant, 1.3. Palm Coast, 1.0. All of these, all of Central Florida is under a drought. As a matter of fact, look at the drought monitor. I'll pop it up in a second. Now, obviously, this drought monitor does not take into account the rainfall that we saw yesterday and today. But like the Flagler, the Marion rainfall, you're under an extreme drought. So those numbers for rain absolutely should help us out. Absolutely should help us out. Right? So, this new product will come out Thursday. That's when the drought monitor is released. But that extreme drought should at least take a little bit of rain, taking it down a notch, at least a little bit. But remember, this time of year, and we've discussed this, this time of year, we're watching those, plants start warming up, start sprouting, and all that stuff. And remember that as they do that, they draw more moisture. So the rate at which a drought would build now is starting to increase. So yes, this rain helps, but it's also going to help to continue the everything is waking up process. And of course, that's going to make things a little bit worse. Now, we've got a lot of events around Central Florida this weekend. For example, Bike Week is getting going. Clouds around this afternoon. I think tomorrow's going to be good. So just if you're out for Bike Week, please be careful. The roadway's very, very slick. Right? So just please be careful. All right, we've got that. We've got the Central Florida Fair. Okay, this weekend we're looking great. Yes, there's the opportunity for some rain today, but it's going to be better. The 10K this morning was damp over at the Princess Half Marathon Weekend. Tomorrow for the actual half, a little bit cooler, not so bad. All right, we're doing better and better. But again, the allergens are a big thing. So yes, for yesterday, it was high. The pollen count comes down a little bit today because of the rains, but by Monday, everything starts sprouting again, right? And as everything starts sprouting again, we know that we're drawing more from the soil, more moisture from the soil. And of course, that's going to play into the overall pattern for change here in Central Florida and increase those drought numbers. So even if we're doing a little bit better, that's where we're at. All right. Now, notice that also at the end of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rain chances start going back up. Okay. So that's where we're going to be starting to see some changes. So what's going on there? Interesting. Interesting. Well, it's another storm system. It doesn't really have the opportunity to do much. But what I'm going to do, give me a second. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll hit this button. I'll tell you that for whatever reason, this flavor of Windows, my mouse is now just like the little text, like the T or the I for text. And so it's very difficult for me to see the mouse most of the time. All right. Let me make you a little bit smaller. Just going to pull up some raw model data here. Go a little bit smaller. All right. Because this is Coffee Talk. We are not what you would refer to as the most professional. All right. All right, so here is a look at the setup. So there's that moisture, that low pressure, high pressure building in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That easterly flow is giving us a nice warmer setup. Southeasterly flow by the end of the week, continuing warm. And then notice that Saturday, Sunday, east southeasterly wind flow for us. And what that means is that we're going to end up getting coastal showers. All right, that's not so bad. Looking beyond, there's it's like a sloppy system around the 12th. There we go. There we go. The 12th into the 13th. Ooh, it's a Friday the 13th. Yeesh. Okay. Storm system up north of us. That's going to give us some sloppier weather Friday the 13th. Thursday into Friday, it looks like. But it doesn't look like a big chill or anything like that. No. As a matter of fact, here's some raw. This is that. Give me a second. That's the national blend. Let me get over to the GFS. Okay, so here's the GFS numbers. Interesting what they're showing here. Let me shrink it so that you can kind of get the date on the bottom as well. Shrink so you can get the date on the. Okay, all right. So this is some raw GFS numbers here, and look at that. So temperatures climbing. I'll make it full screen for you just because it's kind of small to begin with. Okay. So of course, the ticker standby. I can slide this up a little bit. Okay, perfect. All right, so you've got temperatures kind of hanging out in the upper 70s these next couple of days. Notice, what is that? That's March the 5th, March the 6th. So March the 5th, 6th, we get into the mid 80s, drop just maybe a smidge, maybe some rain or something around that. Getting even warmer to nearly 90 degrees around the 11th, 12th. And then there's that Friday the 13th storm system dropping us back down a little bit. It doesn't make us cooler, but what it does do is it helps to kind of drop down the heat bubble a little bit. So that's the like long range outlook of things. Nothing significant. Just a little something there. All right. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at, my friends. I can take it. Can you dig it? I can dig it. You can dig it. All right. So there it is, 7-day forecast. And with that, I'm going to pause and I'm going to say good morning to you. How are you guys doing? How you doing, Joanne? So is the cold done with? I always say that March always throws a cold front at us. There's at least one good one. Now, that said, just a reminder though, you know, hit that, hit that. All right, hold on. Let me move this. It's so difficult to be able to see where my mouse is sometimes with the little. March is the start, and it's funny. Some meteorologists hate this. I think it's fine. It gives us something to talk about. March 1st, which is right around the corner. March 1st is the start of meteorological March. Spring. I need some coffee. Meteorological spring. So spring is the 3-month kind of time frame where our average high temperatures start to climb. So for example, notice that the average high for the month, we're at 77 right now for an average high. The average high for the month of March, it starts at, 77, 78, and then it goes on its way up. Yeah, we climb. The average high for the whole month of March is 79, then it's 84 in April, and then it's 88 in May. So obviously the average high starts to climb, but you get the overall idea here of we're doing our thing. Realistically, not until March, April are we done with the cold most times. Exactly. There's always one. There's always one. So I always tell people like, no, we're not done. We're not done. There's always one little sneaky peek one. It's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? It's annoying. Yeah. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, my friends. How we doing? Sandy, good morning to you. David, good morning. We good. We know we've got the. All right. So Aaron's asking, is the hurricane season forecast coming out tomorrow or Monday? It's coming out on Monday. I need to do a couple other things to get ready for it, but yes, it's coming out on Monday. All right. Unusually warm March 12th. About 60 days prior, we were unusually warm. Yeah. Yep. But the problem is, so it's 40, 60, or this is a hard duration. This is a really, because we didn't have any major events, it's a hard duration to dial down. You know, we're figuring it out. Tim, what's the percentage complete of what's going to be available on Monday? 90%. I have to write the web article among other things. Yeah. But we'll get there. All right. We looking good. It's like Stranger Things, this weather. Yeah, let's dial it. Let me go find a tower cam or two, huh? Ooh, there's a cool one. My friend's doing the Run Disney stuff, right? It's a little gray, definitely damp. All right. Let's head over to Port Canaveral. Let's see what's doing over at the port. When does the grass start growing? I mean, it's going to do its thing. Look at how much more sun, though, we have here over at the port. It's beautiful. Yukon's asking, did Jeremy get out his pad of paper? Absolutely. The text message thread that he and I have is just going to be hilarious. Let's see. Let's head over here. Go back inland to the metro. Yeah, I mean, it's cloudy. It's cloudy. It's damp. All right, let's head to New Smyrna Beach. Let's check in on you and see how you're doing. I'm going to have AI reevaluate the data you specified for the cycle duration. Please, Chris, I'd love to hear the findings that you've got there. Terry, are we done with the rains today? No, there's going to be other opportunities for showers, especially if you live south of town. Yeah. Onward through the fog, Evelyn says over on YouTube. Good morning to you. Jeannie Rowan says it has to turn green first, the grass. Yeah. Nautilus says, yeah, we saw some decent rains. Nice. Not everybody saw it, but yeah. I mean, there was definitely some areas that saw some decent rains. And the good news is this is not a bone dry 7-day forecast. You know what I mean? So at least we've got that going for us. Now, how much are we going to see? We'll get there. Yeah. Debbie says pretty gloomy news on the beach right now. Sounds about right. Jurassic Crystal, will coffee talk start later for the hurricane forecast? Or will be regular time? Yeah. So what we're going to do, I talked to Jeremy about this, but I haven't chatted with you guys about it. If I'm honest, I've just had so much. I have not had the opportunity to properly tease this and all that, but that's okay. Some years are going to be better than others. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our normal coffee talk at 8. And then at 10, we're going to do the hurricane season forecast reveal. All right. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a little different this year, but then again, also just with me doing weekday morning news, we have to, I can't have Jeremy dial in while we're in the middle of a newscast. That would just be too much. It's just not going to work. So Jeannie Rowan says we need to see about 200 times, please, or just won't be revealed. I know this year it's not going to be that way. I'm sorry. Isn't that what you did last year? Did we do it at 10? I don't remember. Honest to goodness. this year, in so many ways, I'm just keeping my head above water. So, it is what it is. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Debbie, woo, I'm not accepting a sub spot on Monday. Well, thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, Chris, you could also tell that I'm in a different, got a different level of chaos going on, just in that, like, I haven't had you look at the forecast 20 times yet. Yeah. It's almost like tracking the tropics, 8 and 10. That's fine by us, says Nautilus. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. So it's going to be like a tracking the tropics, to which I need to make sure I've got that all set up. I'll figure it out. I always do. This is, it's fine. Jeannie Rowan says, aren't we all the head above water bit? But we've got each other indeed. That's all we can do. Yeah. All right. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Are we good? Yeah. All right. That's all I've got. John, you're my favorite weatherman. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. All right. Listen, that's enough. We're done here. Okay. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I hope you guys have the best of days. I hope you have the best of weekends. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thanks so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'll see y'all later. Take care. Bye.